of analytics, things we're interested in are tracking our data, figuring out what the responses are, what's going on in real time, what variables are actually driving it, and how do we collect all this data and analyze it. And so once again we see the same themes: data-driven and hyper-targeted. Now here are some content marketing examples: freemium, enticement, free shipping. You don't necessarily have to offer money. People are more interested in convenience and services. Education, for you to get your information, and also referral programs. And referrals is one way of enticing people to go viral. It's not always about sales. And again, things like shares, likes, retweets. In certain cases, you want that to happen. And this is why on a lot of articles, what do you see on the side? All the social media links, because they want you to be active. Again, that's how you make good networks. In terms of what drives digital channels, these are some of the variables, and what it does is each of these impacts how the efficacy or effectiveness of the channel. Another implication in all this marketing is called the long tail. And that's what digital channels. You don't need physical stores anymore. If you don't need physical stores, then it's a heck of a lot cheaper to have a lot of products. Not only that, but you can also go vertical. You could just stack things on top of each other because you're paying per square foot. Traditionally, marketing and selling products has followed what's called the 80-20 rule, meaning 80% of my profits come from the top 20%. So what they always did is focus at the top of the curve. But now, because inventory costs are so low, you can have a whole slew of products. Not only that, but if I offer like 100 or 1,000 products, I have to have a way of searching through it. And that's what the internet does, as opposed to something that was paper. And so this is what's called the long tail, that you make just as much money on all these little products as you do on the big one. When does long tail not work? If I can't distribute it, if there's not enough information where people can actually find out what's in the long tail, and how much shelf space do I have? And when you're talking about warehouses, that's less of an issue. And so retail stores have these kind of limitations. And so in terms of creating a niche, you have to be able to search, have low inventory costs. You have to decide, am I a broadhead, which means I'm focused on one area, or a long tail? Are there events that can trigger me having sales? And am I easy to find as a niche? And here are some examples for you. A lot of companies, believe it or not, do not have a good digital marketing strategy. And it's because a lot of people don't understand digital marketing. And that's why you have all these companies running around. And so when they ask companies, what are they focusing on right now? It's about getting revenue growth, making good customer experiences. Why? Personalization, right? Targeting. And to create that kind of customer-centric mindset. Now, when we look at the important team marketing skills, what's at the top of the list? Digital marketing and data analytics. And what's also a very large factor is creativity. And this is what people are looking for out there. Now, the journey through digital marketing actually has steps. And those steps are, first and foremost, do you understand your customer? If you don't have a good message, it doesn't matter what channels you use or whatever. If you can't connect with them and form a relationship, then you're wasting your time. And so what is this about? Brand building. And so once I have that traction with my customer, I'm attracting them to me, then I have to convert my leads and scale. What's the difference between selling between 1,000 people and 100,000 people? You have to be able to convert quickly. And this is why brand matters, Because what does your brand do? In order to form a relationship with the customer, personally target them, I first have to have a good value proposition. The next steps is I need to know what factors drive people when they buy things. And who are my customers? What's their personality, the psychographics? And what is my message to them? Again, branding. What are the channels? What are the logos? And finally, does it resonate and does it stimulate with them? Why do we call it all a sales a funnel? And that's because with each subsequent step, the number of people gets smaller and smaller. You weed it out. So what happens is that when you go from one step to another, you could have a great percentage on one and then totally hit a thud. And what happened with one of my students in my digital marketing classes, he actually had 20,000 people who clicked on his website, but it produced 0 sales. And so take some time to think about that. But when, yeah, I might as well give you the answer. But what's happening is you have to have some way. What he didn't do was get people out of their status quo. That when they saw it, they didn't feel any need to act. And that's what. And so you have to start thinking about things like, did I need coupons? Did I need better videos? Why do people buy clothes? Is it purely, are your clothes about utility or are your clothes about fashion? And the one thing Dr. Cho says is that he doesn't do fashion. No, I have no idea how you kids think. Anyway, so digital media, it's created a whole new age in marketing. Anytime you create a technology that touches on communication, you have a whole new form of marketing. But the basic ideas still stand. And the trend right now we're seeing is more towards mobile marketing, although your website is still the center of your universe. That's where you want to drive everyone. Why? Because that's where you're going to make your case.